Sorry guys, God keep insisting for me to now continue on this journey or tweet or things are not lining up for me to disappear. Find you. If I find an opportunity, I am gone. Like if the opportunity comes, I'm gone. If you hear the abrupt stop tweeting, stop posting, I am gone. Till then, whatever. So I decided to make two videos. This one and another one that's coming after, explaining another frustration. This one is just explaining the Yamhead video thing and just bringing it back to the whole purpose, because I didn't just create the video. Like my friend is like, I hope you get the views you need to start monetizing the YouTube. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not using this to try to be viral, bro. The Yamhead video is because it's funny. And we were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I think I should share that. I started to see, like, I know this already because I can see what God is doing already, because I live my life. I know what I've experienced. I know what I am experiencing. I know what God is asking me. So I know how it parallels and what God is trying to do until I write the book to explain everything. Nobody else is going to really understand except me. So I try to, show so some people can maybe connect the dots. But so another thing, I didn't make the video to try to be viral or funny. It should be, no, it's try to be entertaining. It's more a break from the frustration and a funny story. But I realized I was talking too fast in it. It's a hot mess of a video. You can understand some of the things that are in there, but it's a hot mess of a video. But it should overall tell the synopsis of me so in love with someone, did a bunch of stuff for this person for about 5 years, while he basically, like, it was obvious he doesn't want me, despite saying he loved me, calling me kryptonite, giving me time and affection, etc., etc. Time, not even affection, time, as in like calling me or whatever. The point is, he didn't want me. He just liked what I can bring to the table and had the type of person I was and what I was tolerating, to the point where he eventually at the end is like, you've changed. So you think so you could have sent me, could have stay a punching bag while you continue your foolishness, and me wouldn't eventually ask you to start committing on more. I ain't no fool. I may have tolerated and act foolish for a long time, but I ain't stupid. Anyways, let's refocus back. So I shared the video so you can understand that is me as I tweeted. That was, I think I shared at the end of the video. That was me when I had a misguided view of someone I thought God provided, I thought would be my husband, and when I put the effort of what I will do in trying to, make space for this future I thought we would have. That was all me. 5 years long with this guy I dated, that was all me. Not God. Like, God's looking at me like, you should leave. Why are you asking me to remove him? And even 2 years after, when I finally meet him, as in 5 year long, it was all long distance. I never met him 2 years after. A couple months before I meet Raheem, I met him. We didn't even shake hands. We never hug. We never touch each other. There was no physical interaction. But the first time I met him, and in that conversation, I was like, "Are you my father?" That it was not that he's not an intelligent person. Yes, but the type of foolish argument him bringing at the conversation, the one conversation we had face to face, they said, "Are you me did about?" And what kind of? I couldn't even have a solid stance, because I'm from a family that argues, and when we know we right, and you must come straight, and can argue and blah, yeah. So when he come with this foolishness, I'm like, at least me the thing said, oh, like in that moment I was like, I was dumb. Not that he's not a. But in that conversation, I had to be like, I admitted I fought for all this time. All this time it was him. Like, bruh, him. Like, this conversation is making me feel like, okay, Danielle, I'm embarrassed to your younger self. But yeah, you live and you learn. Because right now, I have no formal relationship with him. I think I've seen him. I was like, morning, cool. That's it. No feelings, no nothing. But that was what got, what, no, that's what I did out of me and me choosing and thinking it's God. Because it's like, then the young self with the tainted view of a lot of things, I was like, the one. He fixed my list of what, I think God would approve, my parents would approve, I would approve. And you know what? I started to even look back. I became someone I wasn't during that time because of of what I was going through, because of migrating and so on. I kind of me who, mind you, a guy I liked before I met him, and I gave an ultimatum. Come to me and tell me that when I was 16, when I gave him the ultimatum, I was powerful. I was like a force to be reckoned with. I was always like this. And that was before, like, couple months before the ex. And I think because of migration, a lot of who I was got swarmed into this trying to survive and try to change. And even like I remember looking back at who I was during the, yes, I still had some of it, but I think I wasn't necessarily fully me. I was like forming into him for acceptance. I don't know. And like, bruh, even okay, so who I am now, I'm consciously want to be with somebody who know who they are. If they don't know who they are, I'm like, don't come near me. I remember thinking this before this whole thing. Because I'm like, I'm a force to be reckoned with. I know what I want. I know, and I don't want to bulldoze you into what I want and you don't get to be who you are. I don't want my wants, my me form help create whoever it is into whoever I am, and not they get to be who they are and we come together and make a good union. So I know my force can be reckoned with. But I'm looking back at it when I was 16 to how long that was? 5 years? 16, 17 ish to about 22. That time period. Up to like halfway through that time period, I was like, I didn't get into me. I was more like trying to be not me, the force to be working with me. I think I was more like trying to be best for him and what I think could be better. Bruh. And that's one of the reasons why, even if he changed and want me and start reciprocating, I'm like, bruh, the type of woman I was not the type of woman I am now, and I would want to be with him. I remember sitting down based on when I became who I am. Like, I became who I am now. And I'm still learning, but like, I know what future I want. Like, I know. I was like, what kind of man I want? And he was not even close to what I pictured. And the type of person I think I need, and I start breaking it down based on the type of future I want. Not like a list, but more like, they must be open to this. I don't want them to be this. I don't want. And he, mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Which is why when now God is like, look, Parai, like, look at him, I have to be like, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I see it. Okay. Because that's after I really look at what future I want. I was like, what type of guy? Because I gave not like a one set of guy, but like a different type of different things that must put together for it to be best for us, And like, Even the slightest, I'm like, well, it would be nice if you did. They're like, it's in Raheem. I'm like, bruh. So I understand why God said whatever. Now, right? Let's start with I never compared the both of them because, mind you, my goal is never to find a replacement of my ex. Hell no. Or to find somebody completely opposite of my ex. Hell no. I was just simply trying to find someone I can be with. I don't business about my ex. But if you start doing things now that started to make me feel like I'm in the space I was my ex, I will bring it up. Right? And that's the only thing I'm like, do not put me in that space again. I'm starting to feel like I'm in that space where I was with my ex. Hello. But I'm not asking you to either be my ex, be like the opposite, just be you. That was always my goal. I even wrote that down in a poetry. I don't want you to be the opposite or my ex. Just be you, right? And so I say this to start, but here's what I'm going to compare. I'm going to compare my approach when I thought this was future husband from my own misguided views. Then I'm going to share my thoughts now when God is saying is my husband. And this is just a comparison of what I did and the effort I put when I thought and the effort I did when no God is saying, right? And just a comparison in regards to the effort and why I put more or less in whichever space, right? And here's the thing. When I was with X and I was like, yo, putting in the effort. Mind you, I made a violent video at early stages. So, but effort in the sense of patience, constantly taking the space. You know, the thing is, at least what I got was some kind of reciprocation or a space to know I can do this, or acknowledge that yet we said something, we're agreeing to something. Both of us have some kind of agreement. So if I'm putting a little effort, or the effort is at least acknowledged or given the space to grow, that's the thing. The space for me to do the effort is there, literally there, for the whole 5 years. No, not the whole 5 years. Close to the end, just space wasn't there because I was demanding more. He wanted to continue his foolishness, and I was not going to take it. And so he was getting frustrated because he wanted to just like forgive me and just like let's move on like nothing, so I can still do the same thing over and over again. I'm like, no, you have to put the effort. And he's like, you changed, and now he's demanding things that I'm like, I'm not tolerating until certain things. And he's like, what? Yeah. Anyways, so for the most part, there was a space where if I'm angry or we're trying to fix something, there is a space to do that. There is a space where I can write and share frustration and we are talking about fixing things. Even if at the end of the day he goes to off with someone else and come back and say, I miss you. At the end of the day, there was a space that I can say, yo, that you did was wrong, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about it. That space was there. So I could constantly give the effort and try it because there was a space of be working to fix something. Right. So I could keep giving the effort because it was like, a space for battle. A space that, yeah, this is something that we're trying to do. Well, let's talk about no God said. So, one, after giving so much effort and time into somebody, I even recommended this to even Raheem at one point because I started like, bro, if you're not married to the person, do not put even don't be in marriage mindset until you are married, because that will mess you up. Because I've learned the hard way from it. Like, I remember when the ex, I was thinking, let's have a group saving thing for our future. We'll put some money every month so we save up together for our future. We didn't actually do that. Imagine if we did. I don't know how to split it because I'm pretty sure it would have been mostly my money. Anyways, and I'm personally, because I was so in love, I wouldn't even feel the need to just you keep it or split it in half, even though it's mostly my money, right? Anyways, so I distinctly learned, like, up to walking down the aisle, keep things prepare, yes, for marriage and whatever. This is something I would actively continue to teach people. Do not live in a marriage mindset before you're married. Unless you have an agreement to not get married or whatever you don't want to do, sure, do whatever. But if your goal is marriage and you don't want to get complicated with the whole thing and give the person the freedom to leave because they can choose to want you and choose to not want you, do not go into marriage mindset and then load it onto me. Because I remember even saying, you're supposed to, in my head, as well as I think I said it to him once, you're supposed to. No, he's not supposed to do nothing. He's not your husband. He never commits to no husband thing. You did that in your head, Danielle. You did that in your head. And so I was stuck in this, you're supposed to. And so I'm like, teaching him and anybody else, don't get in that mindset, because these are humans. They can choose to want you now and not want to. And maybe they didn't even see a future, but you projected that on them and you forced them in that space. And now, when they are now in their truth, you're now hurt. Like, they're free to want you or not. So do not put that space there on them and project it onto them. So I had to learn that the hard way. I don't want to teach people not to do that. So in my head, if you know what on the aisle, I will want to and say I do, and we both say I do, and we sign that paper. I will prepare for marriage, is, prepare for whatever, save up my money for that. Yeah, you can gift people things and whatever, but within your budget and your capability. Don't go above and beyond because you're like his future husband, future wife. At the end of the day, if they leave you at the altar, you're like, the world is collided because you spend your whole savings. No. Within your budget, within your capabilities, do whatever. Because at the end of the day, they can do whatever. Even in marriage, they can leave you. They can leave you. It's the freedom of choice. The choice to leave, the choice to stay, the choice to fight. Right? So I've always had that mindset that I learned. So now that I learned that, and I'm like, even trying to teach this to Rhyme in 2020, because I'm like, dude, do not. Because you don't want to be in that space where, like, you're supposed to, and you're now projecting that on the other person. Don't do that. If you want, because you're planning for your future, and you want to save up, you want a car, you want a house, you want to, maybe your wife have a car, or your husband to have a car, whatever, you have more resources than them or less than them, or whatever, you save up for it. Don't put in a them name. Don't do anything until you're one under God. Don't. Do not. I remember distinctly saying all of this. And this was my goal. Like, I will, if I'm in a committed relationship or we're going towards something, but I'll distinctly still protect myself and my space by saying, yeah, sure, no. We're not buying a property together. We're saving till we plan together. Till we say, I do, we do that. But before that, no. Because up to the altar, you have the freedom to say no. Then you have the complication. This way you can know if you're saying no, and it's not a no to say not no. It's a no to say, I'm not seeing a future with you. They're free to go, and you're not behind them, harassing them because you're like, have to figure out now how to split the assets and try to sell back whatever, get back whatever. No. Because whatever you give, be prepared to lose it forever. That's what I'm like. I would teach people. Whatever you're giving to your partner, be prepared to lose it forever. Right? If they leave. Right? So, and I'm not saying not to prepare for marriage and the union, and but like, that's what I was, like, I was telling type of thing. And here we are. God is literally asking for this country called partnership sponsorship So we have to prove that we codepend on each other. We have to prove. This means joint bank accounts. God is saying we're married, so we're full on everything. Live together, finances together, everything together. When I get that money, I have to buy a property together so I can sponsor people. Put the name together. We're not even married by law, but under God, God is like, let's just talk about the fact that I have to go against my own teaching that I'm teaching myself and others. Then, now, that's just like, all right, when that happened, that kind of know he's there. At least he's there. For that to happen, he's there. Because I have to joint account. And right now, I haven't been able to open an account. Oh, no. Because God is preventing. Because, like, when you open an account, it's when you're opening it with Him. Except that one account I got to open in 2020. That one account. Right now, I'm trying to wait on this ID that would make me be able to get open an account. And I could open it months ago. But God's like, no. Open it through that joint account when you're able to create a joint account with Ryan. Wait him there. Anyways. And you know that joint account, if I go to open an account right now, it would put me in ease for a lot of things. Yes. So that's just that. Let's now talk about, that's just physical things. And that's when the person is there. Let's talk about now the effort. Now you're putting your energy, your emotional state into things. And I've been protecting myself and like, unless it's reciprocated, unless there's a space for it, whatever. Let's start to break down some of the times God was asking me to put effort, right? So 2020, I remember distinctly praying, God, what am I to do? God's like, wait. That's the only time God told me to wait. And I told this to Rona. When I even traveled back to Canada and I was praying, God said, no, stop rejecting him. And I told this to Rona and she was like, why you're blocking? You're rejecting what? Bruh. Anyways, so I'm now back in Canada, 2020. God's like, stop rejecting him. I'm like, cool. But every time I text, he's just basically busy or barely giving any effort. Block, unblock, block, unblock. And I'm getting frustrated. And then I realized, okay, the block, unblock is maybe the rejection God is talking about. So I'm like, all right, fine. Then the fasting and prayer that I've explained through tweets, go back in my Twitter stories. So then, after fasting and prayer now, God is asking me to put effort now to say, like, he is future husband. So I'm thinking in a couple years, things will work out, whatever. Not like now where God is calling me full on husband and wife. Not like future. He's like, you his wife in my eyes. But I didn't know that was going to happen. This is me just like, in a few years, maybe. As I was talking to my sister said, yeah, maybe in 3 years, you guys will be together. I'm like, yeah, but we don't want in that mindset. No, I don't want to be like I was with my ex. I'm like, oh yeah, the future. So I'm putting in effort. It's going to be in the future. I'm going to put in effort. So I'm going to be in that space, open the door. I'm like, no, when the time comes, I put that space so I'm not hurt. But so I was like, nah, when the time comes. So I didn't want to even think about it because like, all right, fine. So I just like the back of my head. So I'm not in that space where I'm hurting myself, right? I was like, put in the effort. Tell your parents. So I'll tell my parents. I became a whole discussion. Then I'm like, all right. Then he's like, prepare. When do you want to win this? So I'm like, all right. I know I always said 27 to 57 because 27 is when I can't be Miss World anymore. So I'm like 27. I even thought about the idea that when the day, so I was like, day, but which month? So if he becomes a teacher, we choose a month that doesn't have a public holiday, so we can create a holiday. So there's always a holiday every month, almost, and blah blah blah. So it's not during the summer and stuff. So we have that space. We decide he has to take a time off for, but. I thought about other stuff. And then I was like, okay, this date. Chose a date, and the year was 2023. Then God's like, choose a ring. What ring you want? I'm like, fine. These things I feel like are not too committal problems, like wouldn't give me mental, kill my mental space too much. It wouldn't be emotionally painful too much. I could do these things with ease. Cause it's like this little hope thing. Think I was like, call him. I didn't even know it was Valentine's Day or message him. I don't even remember it was Valentine's Day. Cause it was like I just done the fasting and prayer, whatever. So I messaged him, and he messaged me back. Mind you, it's late night. I don't know sometimes, and I get it. The heat in Jamaica can exhaust. So by a certain time, he's out sleeping. So I message back. I'm like, this is late. You message. So I'm like, all right, man. We text normal, like, hey, what's up? Cool, cool. Just simple, chill thing. Then I was like, oh, is this an opportunity where we actually get to talk now? So like, so I want to talk about something. Then he's like, I think his reaction is like, oh shit, because he just disappeared. Like shit. And I want to bring up this whole God thing now, because I'm like, God is saying, so are we on the same page type of thing? Nothing. He disappear again in the sense of barely don't want to put any effort in conversation. And this is what I had to deal with for months. God is like, message, call, I do. He replies or does not reply at all. I sent emails, try to set up video call and God is like, oh man, I'll go do it, this, that. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But in some way, it was just like, let me do it. No, like, you're married. Where it's like, this is not what I pictured, shit. Right? Then now, mind you, I'm just like, all right, fine. I do it. I'm getting frustrated with God. Whenever it's going to be fixed, it's fixed. Then I'm now waiting on God for this money thing. And I'm thinking, oh, just for the money. No, God's like, you're not getting money till it work out. Like, what up, bro? So now I'm suffering. I thought it was just for the money. For this person who is not even giving me the space for us to resolve issues. It doesn't mean we're together. Just resolve whatever is bothering us both. Resolve. Nothing. No space. How am I supposed to run down somebody who don't even want to give it a time of day to try and fix anything? I don't business about feelings. Like at this point, I'm like, I've learned to move on many times from being in love with somebody, and you have to move on. I've learned. So being in love don't matter at this point to me. To me, because I've seen. Let's pause a little bit. I am. I could say this is all in my head, but when I was in the car, so this is what I'm going to show you. I know I'm not in my head, and I know God showed me Friday how this individual was making sad remarks and comments publicly that I think were hinted to me. And God protected me from seeing it till He said, watch it Friday, observe, type of thing, right? And mind you, He also showed me to observe and compare the difference, right? And I know when I was in my car, at times there were comments and snares and comments. At the point where I'm there on my phone, that person's profile and other people's profile that I know God is posting stuff, that they're posting stuff targeted to me, I cannot see, but I can see everybody else's Instagram story. And at times God is like, open it, but I'll protect you. Like it's completely blacked out. I can't see squat. But it's like God's like, I want them to see that you see it. So they see my viewership, but I can't see squat. So God was protecting me from what they are about to say that would have hurt my faith, hurt my courage, my hope, everything. Will break it down, right? So God been doing that from last year this time, right? Last year, June, July. He made me see it before, and then he's like, no, 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 it's killing your faith. I'm not going to make you see it, even if you open it. And I'm going to tell you to open it, but you're not going to see it. So now, Friday, I decided to watch the series. Now I'm unbothered to a point. And so I went to church last Sunday. Y'all know which church, and online. And I watched it and I felt empowered. I even learned that, okay, I need to stop. Even though my plate is full, once I'm full, even though I feel like I'm wasting, don't push beyond that. That is gluttony. When it's more than you need, and I don't normally eat more than I need. Once I'm full, I if I know I'm not going to be moving up and down today, I don't necessarily eat a big meal. But if I'm moving up and down and I'm all over the place, I know I'm eating 3 solid meal. But if I know I'm like lying around, I'm not gonna try and eat something big. Maybe one meal that's big and the rest is just light. Because I don't need that. I don't need it. That's just me on a general. But if I know I'm up and down, I need a bigger meal this year. I'm up and down, another bigger meal, I up and down, another one, right? So I know I need this. And I love food that tastes good. But I don't, so I never had that issue, but I've learned from it. But God said, watch now the older ones. Stuff I thought was kind of targeted to me. And I started seeing it. And I started God was like, scroll back on your tweets. And I scroll back on my tweets. And I started realizing the change in tone when I started revealing some things. And I started to realize God even allow me to hold back on revealing a lot of things early on so people can share you can see people's character early on and their view that I'm obsessed, whatever it is, more early on. So I started to see the difference in tone where before, when I was frustrated, it's almost like people think I like this space of being crazy or whatever. No. I'm just different, but I don't like being just different and I'm crazy. And on top of that is like this feeling that I'm in love with this guy and I'm just gonna throw myself at this guy. This is me, just my own personal push towards somebody who don't want me. And I think it started changing, the tone of everything started changing when I started sharing some old information in detail now. Not just saying we were best friends, no, putting in detail. And not just, in detail, no, start sharing what's happening. And what's end up happening around that time is he's showing up. Raheem is there. And I'm sharing these things. People who before think I was just obsessed, realize, oh, she know what she's talking about. Maybe God is really telling her this, or she know what she sees is happening is not in her head. And then I saw the tone drastic difference on the recent, not today's, I don't know about today's, I didn't get to go. It's too late to go today. Because today's Sunday, just in case this video uploads the next day. The last one I watched, the tone is different, even the approach is different. And they start maybe even acknowledging what I've been saying. And that in of itself, I think God set up that way. But people don't understand. I don't business for love at this point. Love is, to me, love necessary. But everything else also is important. It's almost on the same level. Love art is there. Fine. But if everything else is there, me not business about the love part. Done. I've learned to move on from, and I'm learning you can love more than one people in the sense that, as much as honestly, I think I have more of an attachment. I'm not even going to say if I love one more than the other. I think I have more of an attachment to Raheem more than I have from my ex. But at the same time, I knew I loved my ex. I can't deny that part. I'm not going to pretend that's a lie. I loved past it. And I love Raheem. And I even love his mother in the sense of a mother-daughter, relationship, friendship, whatever. But in a business, when you treat someone at a certain point and consistently continue to do so, preventive space, and I don't think people fully understand that. I think God understands it, but He's like, I need you to do what I'm asking you to do, to show some things, for you to sacrifice your own protection. God has been asking me to go against my own knowledge of teaching, to trust Him into. God is asking me to break my own heart in the way that I was broken before for His purpose. I saw this long ago and it pissed me off. Pissed me off. And it's not even, it'd be one thing if it's like the same way, because then at least I'm getting some validation. I'm not getting anybody, and I'm getting attacked. You see people comments on it, and some of these people are coming from care. The ones that don't come from care, I've either removed because these are people I knew long ago, or I don't know you. I'm not even gonna let you bother me. But these are people thinking that I'm obsessed because they don't understand. I'm literally just trying to do what God asks. I'm literally trying to do what God asks, but I'm hurt and I don't want to. I know better. I remember talking to one individual, they're like, you whatever. And I'm like, I get it. It's not about love. It's not about me being in love with this guy for the whatever I want to be in it. I'm obsessed with needing a husband. No, if you know me for a while now, you see I'm running away from being from a husband or marriage for a while because I want good things and I don't want to just jump in something and regret it. And hopefully this video record, because this is 13 minutes long. 18, dang. And so imagine if I have to repeat all of this. Sure. Thank you, Jesus. The 18-minute long clip was done. But yes. So that's one of the frustrating things. And I'm still have to be here. I want to be done. And I still have to be here. Exhausted. And I'm now going to get ready to make the next video, which now focuses on the other frustration. The other physical problems from the other set of promises now. Because this now revolves just mostly on the God declare husband promise, and then now not, and then kind of linked to the money in the sense that the person connected to the money or supposed to deliver the money is judging me based on me trying to be obedient to God and how it looks. I look stupid. I look obsessed. I know. I look crazy. I know. I'm just trying to be obedient. I'm just trying to be fucking obedient. And no, my YouTube channel right now is not made for children. And as much as this is at the end of the video, I believe. I don't know if I'll copy it and put it somewhere else. If these individuals, these children, my children, not mine, I did not birth them nor plan to adopt them, or they're just children I sometimes help with their homework and share my little loving. I love them sometimes and they're not annoying me. But they said they find my YouTube and whatever. Hello. Especially if they reach this point. But if it's you know these children and you're seeing this, tell them do not. Because it's not that they're all is bad things, but these are topics for, as I said, if you're not 14 years and older, that's the cutoff age I set. This is not for you. One, because it's swearing. The topic is a little grown. You're a child. Like, no, you don't need to see my YouTube channel. I don't need views. I don't plan. This is not here for me to make money or views. This is just for the journey and God's requirements and yada yada yada. Whatever God's glory and purpose He has in the future. The point is not for children. If you, madam, you know who I'm talking about, or sirs, or madams, are viewing this and watching and you are a child, and I know you, or you don't know. I don't know you. You're a child and you're under the age I said. Please go. No, don't. This is not for child. This is not even entertaining. I don't need the views. Don't do it for the views. Please, don't. Just want to make sure, because I know it's more like, oh, I see your video. You make video. Me find your channel. Yeah, see it. Don't click it. Leave it be. I don't need the views. Cool.